All right, hello once again, Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College, and I've been going over the PowerPoint presentations for Murox ASP.NET 4.6 with C# 2015 6th edition. This may have to be a small or a short video because I'm in a classroom that's actually used by another class, and once they come in, I bail. So if I get this done, great, and if I don't, then I just continue on in another lecture. So, what's going to be shown here on the screen is a shopping cart application that displays information about Halloween store products and keeps track of how many times each product has been viewed. So what we see here is the View Products page of the shopping cart application. So we display the products in a selected category in a grid view control. This part works like the product list that we had in Chapter 13, but it's AJAX enabled, meaning that when the user selects a category in the drop-down list, the products for that category are displayed in the grid view without reloading the whole page. Below the grid view, we've got a details view, and that details view displays product details when the user clicks the view link for a product. To the right of both these controls is another grid view control that displays how many times each product has been viewed. And below that grid view control is an update progress control. Now these controls are placed inside of two update panels. The first includes the grid view for the products and the details view, so it includes this. The second includes the grid view and the update progress control, so in here. Although the category drop-down list and the clear details button are inside of a panel, the drop-down list is set as a trigger for the first panel, meaning that the drop-down list causes the asynchronous postback. All right, where the button causes a regular postback. So we've got here, and this is figure 2312 on pages 826 and 827, they start to show the two classes that are used by the program. Here is the product view class, which represents the data for one line of the grid view control for the most viewed products. It has just the four properties in it: the product ID, the product name, the category ID, and the view count. Now, the product list view class represents a list of product view objects. You can see we've got a private field in here, which is a named list that stores the list. Then two methods that are used to work with the list. There's a public add method that you see on the screen here that uses the product ID of the product view object that's passed to it to see if the product is already in the list. It does this by attempting to retrieve an object with the same product ID. This method starts by executing a sleep method of the current thread. And that's just used for testing purposes, so it delays the add method by 2 seconds to make sure that the update progress control is displayed. All right, so that's only put in there for demonstration purposes. The other method that's in there is the display method, and that sorts the items in the list by view count property in descending order so that the most viewed items will appear at the top of the screen. All right, so if we do come in here and at least attempt to run this, and I've got this up and I don't want to save, and I want to get rid of that also. There we go. So again, as this runs and we bring up a new product, what we should see is our update progress control kind of whizzing around down in the lower right hand corner. And we put in a timer there just so you could indeed see that program control in action. All right, so as I change from here to here, well, I thought it would at least, but it didn't. That's lovely. Clear details. All right, there we go. There's the control, and you see how Flying Bats was checked. If we bring another one, There's the control again, and now we've added deranged cat, and we get the controls down there. If we change, boom, okay, it's changing immediately. If we come in here now and we view the Vader, you'll notice each one of those. If we view the Vader again, you can see how once we do that, it's now got two views and it's moved up to the top. All right, if we go to Mummy and then go back and view the Vader again, you can see how it keeps incrementing. All right. And again, this is all done to demonstrate the different kinds of AJAX controls. So what you see here is the form element in the ASPX for this application. It starts with a script manager control, followed by the drop-down list for the product categories and the clear details button. Now, neither of these is inside of an update panel, and both call the reset method. The drop-down list and the button are followed by an update panel, and the update panel contains the grid view that displays the products and the details view that displays the data for the selected product. Then we've got a second update panel, and that contains the grid view that displays the number of times each product has been viewed. This update panel doesn't contain any controls that causes a postback. Rather, the data source is reset every time the product is viewed. What this means is that the panel needs to be refreshed every time the user clicks on any view link in the product's grid. Because the update mode property has been left as the default of always, this happens automatically. Finally, we see in here the associated code behind file on pages 832 and 833. This consists first of a private constant at the top, which is a string constant named app key that will be used as a key value when working with the item in an application state that holds the product list object. Next, we've got a private helper method called bind view control. All right, well, next we've got our page load stuff. But we've got our, we've got our bind view grid that accepts a list of product objects as a parameter. This method gets the list, sets it as the data source for the grid view, and displays the number of product views, and calls the grid view controls data bind method. First, we've got, again, the page load. And let me mention here, because they say it in the book on page 832, that it's a good idea to use a constant this way rather than typing out view list every time. Okay. So first we've got the page load event handler, which starts by declaring a product view list object named view list. Then it checks the application state to see if it contains an item with the same name as the app key. All right, if it doesn't, a new object is created. Second, in here, we've got the selected index changed event of the product's grid view control, which is fired whenever the user views a product. The third thing that's in there is reset, and as you can see, it is called by both the category dropdown and the clear details button. Now that's pretty much it for this particular chapter. So in here we went over the 5 major AJAX server controls. All right. So we talked in quite length and depth and breadth of coverage about all 5 of these controls. Those controls being the script manager, which is kind of our controller, the script manager proxy if you need to have additional script managers on an application that already has a script manager in the master page, our update panel, which holds other controls that are to be refreshed when an asynchronous postback occurs, an update progress, which can be text but is normally a graphic that shows as the update is taking place, and our timer control to have things run at certain intervals. We described how AJAX works, We described the use of the XML HTTP request or XHR object. I showed you the Jesse James Garrett article. We went out and looked at Codeplex. We also went out and we looked at the, what was it, DevPlex. We looked at DevExpress, which has the new and improved Ajax control toolkit in it. All right. So we described these Ajax client-side framework and the Ajax ASP.NET controls. And again, we discussed the script manager update panel, update progress, and timer controls. All right, with the script proxy in a lot of depth and breadth of coverage. That concludes the lecture for Chapter 23. When I return later, we will go through, Chapter 24, and Chapter 24 of our 25 will be on how to create and use Windows Communication Foundation, WCF, and Web API, Application Program Interface Services. So I'll be back shortly with that next set of videos.